Hello and welcome to your catechism lesson for the day. Today we are going to be talking about the first commandment, and just a reminder, the things that you'll need for this lesson are paper, something to write with, and your ELW that you should all have at home. Don't forget to pause the video when we get to the prompts for discussion so that you can talk about that with your family. So we begin today with opening up your ELW, the red hymnal, to page 1160, and we begin with the first commandment. So the first commandment reads, "You shall have no other gods." What is this? We are to fear, love, and trust God above all things. So the first commandment is the most important commandment in the catechism. And what it comes down to is anything on which your heart relies and depends, I say that is really your God. That's Martin Luther's description of it in the Large Catechism. Basically, if we rely on something to give us goodness, if we count on something for luck, if we look anywhere other than God for goodness, then we are misplacing our faith, our trust, our hope, because it should be put in God. So that takes a little bit of working around and getting used to thinking that way. Sometimes I think, oh, I can do it myself, I don't need any help. That kind of thinking and mentality really flies against this commandment. So all the other commandments tend to stem out from this commandment. So the first is the most important: you shall have no other gods before me. And then down from there, we get different versions of how we are to follow this. But everything always comes back to putting God first and thanking God above all other things. So what you need to do right now is to get out your sheet of paper. And for each person in your family, you are going to write down what you think that person cares about most in this world. So you're going to do it for yourself as well. So again, you're going to, on your sheet of paper, write down each person in your family. Go ahead and make a column. And underneath that person, write what you think they care about most in this world. So go ahead and pause the video here. All right. Your second activity to do with your family is you are going to compare your answers. So talk about them with your family. Go around and have each person say what they thought each other person's highest value was. Where were you surprised? Were you all on the same page as a family? Go ahead and pause here. Finally, you are going to take a minute and reflect on your value, both the one that you put down and the one that other people in your family put down for you. Think of a time when you did something that replaced God as the top spot in your life. Was it this value that you and others in your family thought of? And then what happened when you replaced God in that top slot in your life? Is God still replaced by something else? And then after you've thought about this, go ahead and share this with your family. All right, welcome back. I hope you had some good discussion with the rest of your family. So here's the review for our lesson today. The truth is that we are all sinners in the light of the first commandment. We all break this, placing things above God. It happens when we intentionally turn away from God, but also when we forget about God without meaning to. Whether we get so overlooked that we forget to pray, or if we care about our favorite sports team more than worship, or if we just feel like we don't need anything from God, we break this commandment. When we get to know the meaning of the first commandment, we find that none of us can live up to this expectation given by God. But remember, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, as Lutherans, we always find both law and gospel. The fact that we can never fulfill this commandment is the law. But there is also a promise attached here. We find gospel. God gives us this commandment as a reminder that all good things come from God. By placing God at the top of our value list, we remember that all the good things are blessings and gifts given to us from God. If we treasure something else or give thanks to something above God, we're ignoring the true source of all goodness. It's like receiving a wonderful Christmas gift from your sister and then turning around and thanking your best friend instead. It's ignoring where it is coming from. So the law of the first commandment is that we do put other things above God. We all do. But the gospel of the first commandment is that God continues to give us all goodness and blessings that we have in our life. All right, I hope you found this lesson interesting and got some good conversation with your family. Please continue to talk about it if there's something else. And remember that our Google chat is going to be on Wednesday, so please come with any questions that you have or things that you want to share with the other families. Thanks. Have a good one.